Hey guys, happy Friday, and thank you for joining our class. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a foxglove flowers bracelet. And it was inspired by these beautiful flowers that popped up around the time I was designing this bracelet near a little stormwater pond trail area where I go to go for walks and stuff near my home. And so I was walking to think of designs, and there they were. And so I knew just the stitch. And so I'm going to teach you today how to do the stitch. There is a step-by-step handout that you can download. It is available also in the chat and also when you signed up for class that has all of the diagrams to show you how to do every stitch so you don't have to 100% memorize everything that we do here in class today. But that said, the class is recorded and it'll be available on Monday because today is Friday. So you can get the replay too. All right, well, let's get started. Let me show you what I used, both in the original colorway, and there's also a few other little spins, like I like to do, that I'll share with you here on the mat. Let's see, I'm just going to switch to my mat really quick. And oh, thanks, Nicole. Awesome. Okay, so here what I've got is the original colorway, which you can see, that uses white pearl, and it is made with size 8 and size 11 seed beads. And then the little points of the fox flowers are made with 4mm Czech glass bicone beads. And the bicone beads you can see here that I've used they are the white opal. And so these are the ones that are highlighted in the handout and that I used on the original. And I was going for kind of like a bridal colorway. And at the time, it was like wedding season, so I felt inspired to do something like that. But you can, like inspired by my background photo from earlier, you can go crazy with your colors as always. And you can just start adding. I had a bunch of leftover bicones and I pulled in some pea green. So for this one here, I just used the same thing, but I went for 8-0 and 11-0 and the pea green, which is this one right here. So if you like that, you can just go crazy. Just grab any colors you want. I even changed the little colors at the top of the flower to match my crystals because I had a bunch of different leftover crystals. But the one I really liked the most was, looked like this. Get that together. This is Rose AB, and this one is Fuchsia. So there's just a lot of places you can take this design. I was curious what you guys think for demoing. Do you think it'd be easier to see the green, or would you like me to stick with the opal for the demo? Just drop it in the chat. I'll watch for a second while I get set up. While you're thinking about it, I'm going to do my thread. Okay, so I've got a few other things that I'm going to need to create with. I'm going to need some thread. I did use a white color frost on the sample. And today I'm going to demo with black so you can see my thread really easily. You're going to need some scissors. So to cut your thread. And then if you have handy chain nose pliers, I like to use both chain nose and bent nose when I do the jump rings at the end. So I also use the chain nose pliers to flatten my thread to help me thread my needle. And I'm working with a size 11 beading needle. And then last but not least, at the end, you'll need an assortment of findings. So some jump rings and a clasp, and they can be, the ones in the handout that I used here are stainless, lobster claw, and 6mm jump rings. But there's also a gold option if you prefer the gold, and the same exact sizes that you can find in store and online. All right, so I saw a bunch of votes for green. So I'm gonna go with the green colorway. And again, that's just, pea green. So it's 8-0 is what we're gonna need in the beginning. And so I'm gonna get those on the mat. And then I've got some crystals ready right here. And let me just move these aside for a moment. We have this one ready to go so I can show you how to do the clasp and the ending and everything. But to get started, we're going to do a really easy basic ladder stitch. And it's a super easy to do and to get started. So you'll want to pick up, to start, just 2 of your 8-0 seed beads. Slide that down. And you only need about a 7-inch tail to finish this because it's just going to get woven in really simply, and we're going to pop the closure right onto the seed bead. So it's really handy, right? So or let's go back through the first bead. So there's 2 8-0 that we strung. And then we're just going to loop around tail side right here. And we're just going to go back through the first bead and only the first bead there. And what I like to do so I don't lose my tail that I just measured over here, which I kind of lost a little bit, so let's pull that back out a little, is I'll take this and just hold it in my hands so that this tail stays secure and doesn't get consumed as I'm pulling this through. And if you do that, you'll have these two beads will sit kind of side by side. They might even pop right into place for you just like that. So super handy and really quick. On the first one, I recommend reinforcing the first one, but you probably won't have to do this for the whole ladder, just the first part. So to reinforce, you just want to pick up, go through the second bead. So we're exiting out of this one. And we're just going to go right through this one right here. Coming up. And then we're going to turn and head back through on this side. So that's reinforced now. And that'll stay put for us while we work the rest of the row. Okay, so let's continue our ladder stitch. I'm going to go back through the next bead one more time. And pinch everything in place. And now I'm going to pick up one more bead. Still working with the 8-0. And we'll just make a loop. We're exiting out of this side. We're just going to come around and go through the other side of the bead. And when you do that, it'll sit right like that. So nice and easy. I'm just going to turn and go through the next bead, or the one we just added. And so that's literally all there is to it. So we just need to repeat this. I'm going to repeat it for, you know, a good length. I probably won't do the full bracelet length for this part of the demo. I'll take it to about 2 inches, I think, and 2 or 3, so we can really demo the petal making. Let's see, we're just going to keep doing this ladder stitch. And I find that the beads really do stay in place for me, which is kind of nice. It's really cool. And if you're someone who likes to do single column peyote, that will work here too. It'll just change the way you do the petals, but try this method first and then experiment after that. But I did get a question about that, and that one definitely will work. So we're just going to keep doing ladder stitching. And I'm keeping an eye just to see if there's any questions about ladder while I go. I think a lot of you guys already know this one. You're experts. It seems like when you first get started, the interesting thing about trying to do a full length bracelet, you're going to want to make this the full length of the bracelet that you plan minus the clasp length. And so we'll talk about that in just a sec. We'll get the other one over and do some measuring. But this goes faster. So in the beginning, it feels like, oh my goodness, this is going to take a long time. But we've already done almost 1.5 inches in just the time that we've been chatting here. So to get a good 7 inches going doesn't actually take as long as it seems like it would. I'm just going to carry on like that. And I'm using medium to tight tension. So as I pull each of these through, that tight tension, especially on that first pull through, really makes the bead pop into place. So like right there, that spot. Let's see what we've got. So I'm going to grab my tape measure. And in just that time, how much did we create? Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, so we did about 1.5 inches there. So you can see that goes pretty fast. I'm going to keep going until I've got about 3 inches. And then what I'd like to do is bring over the other sample and give you an estimate of about how long I did those and how much the clasp will add if you're using the same one I am. So you can kind of plan, but this step we're doing here, you do want to take this step to the desired length minus about, in my case for that clasp, I think it was about 3/4 of an inch. I'm just going to keep going. Probably at about 2 inches there. So you can make this with so many different colors. I have a lot of other ideas for how to do variations that I think would be very pretty. But whenever I get a design I really like, I find it kind of challenging to not try to do every single color. I'll just keep going. So see, just coming right along. And don't worry too much if you got any little wobble. It's going to be pretty tight if you're especially if you're using Wildfire, but it may have just a tiny bit of sway to it. That's going to go away when we do the petals because we're going to go back through it all the way through. All right, let me see what that's at now. There we go. So I might do one more bead. And then let's talk about how to figure out where you should stop with your ladder stitch. So for my demo, I'm going to do what could become an earring, a nice dangly earring, because it's just going to be about 3 inches there for our demo. But on the finished samples, I did ladder stitching on this one for a full 6 inches. And then my closure is adjustable a little bit. I could put more jump rings if I wanted to. I did 2 jump rings on this side for maneuverability. So in total, if I use the first jump ring, I'm already at 7.5. So if you do your jump rings configured as mine are here with 2 6mm jump rings, and then this lobster claw is a 15x9, and that 15 is your length there. So yeah, it's adding a lot. It's actually adding more than I originally estimated. So yeah, like, let's see, did I measure that properly? I might not have. Sorry, 6 3/4, or at the max 7 there. Sorry. I think I misspoke earlier and said 7.5. So yeah, right about there. So that is 6 inches of beaded length to give you that. So give or take, each time you do, let's see, let me get you a counts per inch really quick. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 9 laddered beads per inch. So to do every 9 you do will give you an inch of beaded length. So hopefully that helps you with planning the length of your design. So let's get some more beads out. I'm going to grab some of the pea green color 11O and put those here. And then I've already got on my mat, I've got some of these bright rose AB colored ones. Those are going to be really pretty. And then I'm going to grab some of these just for the top. And I did not do that on this one. On this one, I stuck with the same color 11O, which was the pearl color. You can see it's all the same color above and below the crystal. On this one, I'm going to do something a little different because it just looks really cute. And you're welcome to just stick with the green or stick with whatever solid color you're using. But I popped a bead on top that was a color, and I thought that looked neat. So yeah, but you can try anything you like. It's not going to change your result other than just the different colors and how it pops for you. Okay, this color is so wow. Look at that. That was really pretty. All right, and so the way that we're going to finish this design, we're going to need to leave the end 8O seed beads open for a clasp. So what I did was I took the, this is the working side, And I just went back through the last bead. So we're just going to make a little turn here. Go right back through this one. And the result of doing that is that you'll have space here. See how you'll have an open one on each side to put your closure through.
I mean to interrupt, but someone really loves the beige background that you're using, like I guess the mat, the
This one?
working area. Yeah, yeah. No, the one underneath it.
Oh, the pictures? Yeah. So I got these.
Yeah.
This is from one of those, those books they have. I could even tell you which one it is if you want me to tell you, I can go find it. But it's the um Seasons. I believe this one was a Seasons book, and it's the scrapbooking. Those big square flip pads that have the picture. That's all this is. Let me show you.
Ah, okay.
And so the other side is just white. But I'm ready. Oh, check this out. See if I can get it. Can even go for full.
Wow.
I know.
You
I
got
don't.
all the
Where have you
seasons.
been?
Okay. Was this like on Amazon or something?
No, this is in Michael's.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
gotcha. There you
actually
go.
yeah, hang on, I'll show you really quick. They're right here. Okay. So they look like this. See? They're seasonal moments.
Seasonal moments.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
They always have new ones all the time. This might be kind of old, but like just go see because you'll find stuff you love and it's great for your photography. I use these on my social media posts all the time. They come out so pretty. Okay, so I went back through the last bead. So we were just laddering. So now we're ready to do the fun part. And this part is really cool. So you'll want to pick up to start just 2 of your 11 seed beads. So there's 2 of those. And then you want to pick up 1 crystal. Okay. And then pick up 1 more 11. And then just slide that down. And what you'll have is, let me hold it up just a little closer so you can see, is you have the first half done of the little point. And from there, all you gotta do is skip the last bead. So skip that top bead that we added, and then just go through the crystal. And what I like to do is just kind of hold the thread here for now. I'll even pinch it like just right above that last bead and go ahead and pull that through. And as it gets closer, you can just hold it like that. And there, what we kind of just did is we went and made a fringe strand, sort of like a mini fringe strand, right? But we didn't go through those 2 11-Os. Those are still left. We're through the crystal, and that's all. So we're ready to make what's like a little triangle right here. So we'll pick up 2 more 11-O, and then go down through the next 8-O seed bead. And then just keep going. And there you go. There's your first foxglove flower ready to go. And that's literally all there is to it. So we're just going to keep going. So picking up 2 more 11-O. Those ready. 1 more crystal. And 1 more 11-O seed bead. Slide that down. And same thing again. We're gonna skip the, yeah, Patty, it's a really delicate design. It's really fun, really pretty. And I think it would have a lot of potential for variation as well. So we're through the 4mm crystal, and just that crystal, we skipped the last bead. And are you guys having trouble seeing? Let me know, David, if they're having trouble.
Yeah, they are a little
Okay.
bit.
Let me move. Let's see.
You could use the bead mat, perhaps.
Yeah, usually the bead mat isn't as good, but you know what? New day, new solutions, right?
Yeah.
Let's go for that.
See if this works out.
Oh, I thought you guys were liking it. I've been getting creative. I've been trying new things. There we go. Is that good? Much better. Okay.
Much
Thanks, Susan.
better.
All right, and so there's the next one. And so again, what we did is we strung 2 11-0, a crystal, and 11-0. Then we skipped the last 11-0, went through just the crystal. So now we're ready to carry on with 2 more 11-0 seed beads. And we'll go through the next one. So you're always working into the next open 8-0 seed bead. And there's the next little point. So it just goes it's so fast. It really is. The trip back this way covers both sides, which is really nice. You're not having to make multiple trips or leave a long tail or any of that. So here's the next one. We're going to do 2 11-0 crystal 11-0. We'll skip the 11-0. And we'll go down through just the crystal. Just pull tight. And we'll pick up 2 11-0. And now from here, we're just going to go through the next open 8-0, which is this one right here. And there it is. It's actually really strong too. I do like working this kind of a stitch with the thicker thread. It's really nice for something like this. So I'm using, again, 0.06 Wildfire, 0.006. There's 2 11-0, 4mm fire, oh, sorry, 4mm bicone, and then 11-0, skipping the 11-0. Go back just to the bicone. And you get multiple opportunities to tighten this up. So there's one opportunity here where we just kind of gave it a little bit of a tightening. 2 more 11-0 now. Go through the next open 8-0. I am loving this color. Very, very, very pretty colorway. What colors would you guys do? What are you dreaming? I haven't done blue yet. But I wonder if this could be made ocean themed if we did a blue. There's also a really beautiful lime. I feel like lime would be really gorgeous. It would look more spring, more pastel-y, but still very cool. And did I get that 11? Oh, I missed that one. Let me get that one. So just like that. We'll skip this one. And 2 more 11-0s. And we'll keep going. So I'm going to just make a few more of these. It's a great time for questions because we were really ahead. We're actually ahead of where I thought we would be in this demo. I think I thought it would take me longer to ladder than it did. So questions, ideas, start overs, all of that stuff is totally on the menu. 2 more. See how fast this goes? It is a really speedy one. And one thing I've thought about that I have not done yet, but I think would work really cool, is to do a necklace design. But I'm wondering if what might make sense for a necklace design is to not do the top row and just have them maybe be a little bit longer. And essentially it would be a fringe necklace in a way. There we go. Another thing you could try, if you wanted to make them taller, you could do more than 2 here. and it would still work. It would just be a taller flower. It would be more floppy. So like as you're wearing it, this would move more, but that might be okay, especially if you're doing a necklace. That might look really cool. There we go. And gonna go back through the last 4mm bicone there. Just keep working through. Wow, what are you guys thinking of this color? I love it. It's different than my last one because I worked with just kind of a mix of colors. This one I was sticking with just one and I'm liking it a lot more. Let me make sure I'm staying on camera for you. There we go. Well, I think you guys are becoming seed bead experts because I've noticed that I don't get as many questions in the beginnings as I used to with some of the starter stuff. Like you guys are just on it. You're just like, you're going. So I think that's awesome. Well, let me know if you guys would like me to keep going. I could go to the end of this little sample here if you'd like. We could start over. I can show you the clasp. Yeah, just whichever order works for you guys. If you're enjoying seeing this come together, I know I am. So if I could just keep going on that. Oops, there we go. There we go. That is really pretty. Oops, there we go. Okay, well, so I'm just gonna keep going to the end unless oh, thank you, Catherine. That's sweet. She says she likes the designs. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, this one was really fun. It came together really fast too, as far as like the trial and error that I usually put into making things. I have a lot of samples of things that I take apart because the concept is in my mind, but I don't exactly know the structure yet. This was definitely one of those, and it was really easy to arrive at a solution compared to some of the other stuff that I've done. So nice, refreshing design. I was trying to find a way where we didn't have to do this little back turn. It doesn't bug me too much, but I always look for thread paths that are soothing and easy to construct, that are nice, flowy steps. I don't really like the things where you have to backtrack or do a lot of weaving in multiple, steps to create. And so this one is definitely like that, but it's the making of the point. So the reason this turn, the reason it's worth doing is it creates that little point shape. Because originally one thought that I had was that you could, since the bicone's pointy on both sides, you could just string it like a picot, right? So 1, 2, string the bicone, 2 more, and then just, doing that. That would give you a scallop. And because the bicone's pointy, you get a little point, but it wasn't pronounced enough to make me feel like it looked like a foxglove flower. So that's why I went to the effort to do this little turn. I think it was worth it, but it does add a little bit of work. Not too much though. Oops, there we go. How's that looking? It looks really good. There's 2 more. Well, at least at this rate, I'm going to be able to show weaving in at least a few times and finishing. Because I think we'll have this and the other sample ready to go. Oops. It's actually really nice to have my mat here. So thanks for the suggestion. I, for the longest time, have thought that the mat was making the camera fuzzy, but new day, new camera. Don't know. I'm using the same exact setup I always do. The light is a little different. We're moving into fall now. We're on, what's today? The 17th, 16th, I think. So
16th.
we're still summer. It's a cloudy day though, so it feels fallish to me.
Yeah, it's getting there.
It is. I'm ready, honestly. I'm ready for fall.
Me too. Me too.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be nice. I've got the pumpkin spice latte cravings already. It starts early for me this year. Honestly, if they had those year round, I would go for it.
I'd give it a try for a whole year, see how it goes.
Yeah.
I might get tired of it. I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, but then I still would need them to do the peppermint mochas in December.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
And then there's another one I could do all year too. Wow, look at this coming together so quick. I wasn't expecting to get this far on this, guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are professional seed beaters. I'm just flying here. Actually, I don't need the 8s anymore, so let me get those out of the way. That will help a little bit. We're almost done. Look at that. Wow. There we go. One more. And two more. There we go. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're down to the last one. Okay. So here's how to finish it. You just pick up the last set. So here's my 211-0 and my last bicone. Here's my last 11-0 for the top. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one. Go back through the bicone, just the bicone, just like we've been doing. So nothing new yet. We're still doing the same thing. Here's two more 11-0. Let's see. Marguerite has a question about, do you want to end up with the same number of crystals on each side? It might not be possible. It really depends on the length you're going for, but I don't feel like it detracts from it. And if you really wanted to, what you would need to do here, in fact, you know, why don't I show that just in case that's important? Because I know someone might want that to match. So let's do that. You would need to make it a little bit longer and add to your ladder. Or alternatively, you could take off. Well, actually, you know, I wouldn't do that because you want to have this extra here. So let's do that. But your result is going to be different based on how long you make your starter sample. Let me trim this. Actually, I'm going to need to trim that really quick because it's got a little bit of fuzzies on it. Okay. And these are just some regular chainless pliers. I'm just going to flatten those. And I need one more needle. Just going to grab one of those. What do I have? Sorry, these are short sharps, but it's going to work just fine. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let's add to the ladder stitch. So I will need one more of those 8s. And we'll go back through. All right, so now we have somewhere to land our next one. So we're going to use the last crystal. Oh my gosh, how perfect is that? We're going to use all the ones I laid out. I didn't plan that. That was magical. Okay, so there's that. And we'll skip the last one. And pull that through all the way. Okay, 2 more. And we'll just go right through this bead here. And now you do have the same number on each side. So super easy. If you get to the end and you feel like it needs that, you can easily just make that modification and you got it. So that was a great question. Thanks for that question, Marguerite. That helps that'll help folks when they get to the end of their bracelet. Okay, so to weave in, all we have to do is just get these threads out of the way. And so I'm just going to start with this one here. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to bring it back through the 80 seed bead that is just, one back from the one it's exiting. And I ended up going through the first 2 seed beads of my last flower. That's totally fun. I'm going to follow the thread path through a few of the beads. So maybe I'll do like 3 zigzags. And it can speed things up if you want to. You can get through multiple beads at a time, like I did just there. Head through these. And as always, weaving in takes just as long as constructing the original structure, but there we go. I'm not sure if it saves me time trying to get through multiple beads, but I've been doing it anyway. And your strands, your working side will end up on the same side as your tail. Right now I'm weaving in the tail thread. Doesn't matter which one you start with. You can start with whichever one you like. I'm gonna leave this here for now. I went through that one, that one, that one, and it's right here. For this side, I'm gonna go ahead and weave back through just the ladder to get behind the last one that I did. So I'm not having to make multiple passes through the same petals. Even you can if you want to, it won't hurt anything, but I'm just gonna bring myself a little further back. Okay. And I'm going a little further past it because I want to go through some petals now. But when I go through these petals, it's going to take me back in the other direction. I'll show you what I mean. So I got to right about there. And now when I choose to go through a petal, it's going to take me back this way. And that's totally fine. It's just going to mean that you want to pass it a little bit, pass up the ones that you've already done. Let's see. There we go. Oops. I went back through the wrong side. Sorry about that. I want to go through this side. And I'm just being really careful. I'm going a little slow because I don't want to chip my crystal. There we go. Okay, now I'm headed there anyway. Continue through here. And so one thing that I noticed about the Wildfire is it's so strong that it makes the crystal really have like it'll pop right on the top. And so even just getting through the seed bead plus the crystal like that, just making that turn is super challenging. But I think that's actually a feature because it's making those little things pop, the little petals pop. but I can really only get through the seed beads, and I got to do the crystal by itself there. So this is my third one. What I've been doing for mine, guys, when I weave in, I go through 3 petals, and then I trim it after that. So this is the last one. There we go. Okay. All right, so here's where I'm at. I've got the tail side going here out of the opposite side of my working side. And that just kind of seems to be the pattern I've been following when I weave in. And so I've also reinforced all of these edge ones. It's pretty good. Now with the darker color thread, you can really see through the clear crystals. You can actually see that I've stitched through them. So I used frost for that reason when I was creating the original sample. But today this was just for demo. I wanted you to be able to see really clearly the thread. But I do think it does look a little better if you want to go with frost, even working with a darker color, because our crystals are clear. And so your frost color is going to do more for you, I believe, as far as the color. On this one, it's not as noticeable, but I haven't done my weaving in yet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim these, and you can use a burner if you have one, or you can just take scissors. And what you'll want to do with your scissors is, before you cut, just push down and pull up. So I'm literally pushing down with the scissors on the piece while pulling up with the thread. And I'm barely even using the cutting part of the scissors, just kind of more moving the thread along the inside edge, and it just automatically makes that pop right in. So there it is. And I'm going to go ahead and grab some jump rings. And let's finish this one up. Now this would be a very cute earring. And I've got, so these are square chain nose pliers, and these are bent nose pliers. Oh, thanks, Marguerite. Yeah, I really like this one. She said it's lovely. I'm excited about this one, especially the colors. I like these. So with your jump rings, what I'm doing here is I'm just grabbing one side, and I've identified that the seam, and these jump rings are so good, it's actually kind of hard to see the seam, but it's right there. And so I'm securing one side with my square chain nose, take the bent nose on the other side, and we're going to use a lateral motion to open these. So just like that. And then pick a side. It doesn't matter which one you choose first. And your jump ring will fit right through it. And they're size 8/0, so they're going to be really strong. And that same lateral motion is what I'm using here to close our jump ring on that side. Same thing over here. Try to find the little seam here. They can be really tricky to see. If you have a magnifier, it helps. I'm actually literally using my monitor as my magnifier right now. Look up to see it. There it is. If you have a side that won't go through, just try swapping the side of your jump ring. One side of your jump ring might have a little, when you flush cut something, when they make these, one side will have a little bit of a cutting edge and one side won't. So if you just flip the jump ring over, you might have better luck getting it through if you're struggling. But I haven't had any problems. Mine are going through no matter what. They're doing really well there. So from here, what I did is I went ahead and popped on an additional jump ring to add my clasp. But you could also put an ear wire if you wanted. You can create adjustable chain on one side. Let me go ahead and just show the lobster claw in case that interests anybody to see that. But this is probably, for me, it's going to become an earring. And there's that. And to make an adjustable chain, it's the same steps I'm showing right now. You just do a bunch of times and just add. You can even add a little charm at the end. So here's our lobster claw, put that on. There you go. So it is so easy, super, super easy, beautiful design. And we have a pretty good chunk of time left. So if anyone has questions for me about the ladder stitching, if you want to see weaving in again, I can show you weaving in again. I can show you, I can probably ladder up quick enough to show you a few more points, but I feel like we did those quite a few times. So we're probably pretty good on that. What do you think, David? Anyone have any questions I missed, or it went way fast?
Yeah, it went really fast. There was one, it's not really much of a question, but someone pointed out that the pattern is backward on the sheet to start in step 2. And that doesn't show skipping a bead in the
Mm.
document. I don't know if that's 100% or not, but you
Oh,
know.
it's possible. I do these myself, guys. So sometimes,
Yeah,
so this was the steps we showed here.
yes.
So far, so good.
She said the pattern was backward apparently, but it could just be her on her end, so.
Oh, you know what it could be? It's just that I worked it this way versus that. It doesn't actually, there is no front or there's no left or right. It just depends where you end up. So, although I think I kind of stuck with it because I laddered in this direction. I laddered this way.
Right.
And then I just kind of, but if I flipped it in my hand, that could throw you off. So apologies for that. I should have pointed that out. Yeah, it's, um, and then just, the weaving in is, I just kind of very, very basically showed the weaving.
Okay, we're getting a couple of questions here. Karen says, would it be possible to make a heart design bracelet out of the beads?
Oh, I mean, yeah, that'd be like maybe a different class. We could definitely put that on our list of things to come up with for you.
And one from Marianne saying, so for an earring, would you sew in a crystal to the end?
Good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, in fact, I was thinking, one of the really big 8mm crystals will look cute. Another thing that would look cool is to make a stack. So there are 8mm, 6mm, and 4mm bicone and rounds. And if you stack those, they're gonna look even more like a foxglove flower. So, you can just pop a 8mm, 6mm, 4mm. It would make this very tall. That's more earring, more necklace for, than for a bracelet, but really that would look quite cool. And you would get that shaping that kind of brings it down to a point even cooler. So that's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be a cool thing on a head pin. Just pop that on a head pin here on the bottom. I would do the big crystal first, then the medium, then the small, and then I'd even put a little seed bead on the bottom of the head pin and dangle that here. How cool. That is a great idea.
Yeah, a lot of these beaters here, they got some unique ideas. Just a matter of just experimenting. Seems like this piece is very versatile with just the things you could do to customize or modify it.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a great idea. Thank you for the idea. More ideas. I'm absorbing ideas.
Ideas are good.
So we've still got a pretty good chunk of time. We've got like 10 minutes. I can show you laddering again, or if you want, we can talk about next week. There's another class Friday next week. Oh, what about a faceted round? Yes. Faceted round will look really cool. And you could easily replace the bicone with one of the 4mm faceted rounds and you would have the same result here. It would look, a little different, but I think it would still look really cool. I mean, I only went with bicone really just because, well, a couple of reasons. Maybe this is worth sharing. I went with bicones because you get 2 strands of those, and of course, because it's a pointy flower. So I was going for a peak. With the rounds, you just get 1 strand. I think it's 33 beads. So you may need to buy 2 cards if you're going to do a full length bracelet with it. But on this one, you'll have lots of leftover from a full length. So this one right here, I think I had probably at least 15 beads left after working this one. So yeah, but I do think it would work and I think it would look stunning. So definitely try it. And other little beads will work too. Alternatively, if the crystals are if you want to try something other than crystal, you could use a 6-0 seed bead. In the 6-0 seed bead mixes, there are some that have some bright pops of color in there. Those would be stunning in a design like this. And a 6.0 seed bead also happens to be the same size roughly as 4 millimeters ish. And so like a Czech 6.0 popping up here, that would be a good alternative as well to using the crystal. Yeah. That was a great question. More questions like that. Yeah, this one I had in mind for kind of like a bridal, but I think I missed the window on season for, because that's more, I need to do a top this in June, right? But that was the feeling I had because at the time I designed this, it was June. So that was the spirit of it. And I thought this would just really look lovely.
Great timing.
Yeah. It could become an anklet too. I wonder, that would look really neat. Oh, Winter Wonderland. Barbara says Winter Wonderland for this. That's absolutely right. It could be little icicles. Oh, and there goes our blue. We could bring blue in that way. Because that could also look wintry. There are 3 different blues in the crystal section. And all of them, one of them looks more like ice, one of them looks more like sapphire. So you could go like really like glam for New Year's or something. So many great possibilities there. Yeah. I'm just going to give you guys just a few more minutes for if you have more questions, and then I'll bring, oh yeah, Christmas. Yeah. So actually, that's a really cool suggestion because I wonder if I still, yep. I had thought about that being something you could do as well. If you wanted to make, now all of a sudden it's going to look like a wreath. So you're already ahead on holidays. You could do that. Even little Christmas trees, come to think of it. So that would be interesting to experiment with. You know what? If somebody does that, please share with me, tag me, because I would love to see if you pop the extra beads on, maybe 3 instead of 2, you would get a little Christmas tree. And you could even put a gold one of these on top. There's a bright yellow you could use that would look golden. Oh, that would be very cool. I need so many hours in my day. I need to add like another 10 hours for my seed beading. That's definitely. Oh, a choker or a drop necklace. Yeah, Patty, that would be amazing. And I think even as is, it could be a choker. I think if you were going to make it like maybe collarbone length necklace, something cool to experiment with would be lengthening the drop on one side. And you could even make it as long as like 5. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but I feel like it would look like lace. It would be very cool for Halloween. You could do a black one. That would be stunning, wouldn't it? That would be so cool. Yes, she says yes. I agree 100%. That would be really fun. Well, I'm going to go ahead and grab my other piece for next week just to show it off because I'm excited about that one. It's really cool. It is a neon bracelet. So I went with neon because they're just such a cool little pop of color. And I thought it was neat. You can pull the mix apart and without having to pull the mix apart. Let me show you. So here's the mix. That's the main color that's popping out here in this design. But then it also just so happens that all the colors are available as single tubes. And I'm missing the pink. The pink's here. Hang on a sec. Hang on. Am I missing the pink? There's a pink. I might have set it down somewhere. I'll find it. But it is available in every color that's in the mix is available in a single tube. So what I did is a super speedy, fast 3-drop peyote. So this is going to be really fun. It's not going to take forever. It looks like it took forever, but it did not, I promise. It was very quick and easy to start, and it just flows. And then we're going to show at the end how to put an interesting little closure on it with some leather. And that's just a good old barrel knot, adjustable barrel knot. So we'll do that. And everything I used is in the handout for this class. You can already download it. It's in the links. And then this bead, I did get this bead at Michael's, but right now I can only find it in red. So what's in the handout is a red bead in this exact configuration. And I'm going to be using the red bead next week. But if you want, you can always grab like an 8mm crystal. Any bead is going to work here. Anything in your stash. This is the stash buster. So find something that you think is good as a button and bring that for next week. Ooh, Valerie says Terra Intensive. Yes, that would be very, very beautiful in this design. You don't have to use the same colors because the technique I'm going to teach you can be used for any beads that you've got. And multiple sizes will work. So if you already are wondering, hey, can I use 8.0? Yeah, you can totally use 8.0. It'll be wider, but it'll work and it'll be finished sooner. You'll get less repeats of the little color blocks, but it's all still going to work technique wise. Yeah, so that's next week. And then World of Jewelry Making is the week after that. So be back at you with a lanyard and some bead embroidery, a jean jacket, which I'll have those to show next week. Yes. Yeah, Marianne, the PDF is already downloadable for this. So you can go to michaels.com/classes and it helps to filter for jewelry. Well, first you'll need to click on online classes and then a bunch of classes will come up, but it's everything. So it's easier to find if you filter for jewelry. And this is the class that is next Friday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And if you just kind of scroll down, you'll see the download the PDF handout is there just right above the materials list. It's right there. So you just click on that and it should pop right up on your screen. And you can download it as a PDF or you can print it, whichever is easier for you. And this leather that I used, guys, it comes on a card with like a bunch of leather, bunch of colors. So if you're looking to match your color of if you're going to go with a different colorway, you can grab a matching leather from that same card. Yeah. Well, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in, tuning in live today. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. That's awesome too. And I hope to see you next week for our neon bracelet. And again, it's going to be really fun. So just bring your seed beads and thread, and we'll get stitching. I want to wish you a happy weekend, happy beading, and I'll see you next time.
Toodaloo.